All right, we're going into round two. We're on the draw. We have a reasonable hand. Spell Pierce is nice early. Hopefully Swords is useful. If not, we can brainstorm it away. Inquisition of Kozilek. So maybe this is a Dark Depth strategy. I think what they end up taking will show us a lot about what they're trying to do. If they take Swords, obviously we put them on being Dark Depths. Spell Pierce. Interesting. Not quite sure what that represents. Maybe it just means they have more discard and they want to make sure they get the extra information on future turns, even if they're just planning to take the Swords. That being said, I think I just want to ponder here. Look for extra lands. Flutterstrand Ponder seems kind of exactly what we want, so gives us our white mana and helps us find potentially more interaction. Council Judgment can be good in some situations against depths, but usually it's a little bit too slow. All right. We have confirmation. Here, I think I want to brainstorm. I kind of just talked about CJ not being so good. We will probably keep it, given that we've drawn 2 extra lands. Yeah. I think I'm going to get an island. Tundra loses to Wasteland. I guess if they're Wastelanding, they're not playing Stage or other things. I think I'm just going to get a Tundra on second thought. If they play like a Confidant or like a Hex Mage with no depths, we want the option to be able to kill it next turn. Oko is really great here for a variety of reasons. It can gain us life to put us above 20, and then Elk the 20/20 after it attacks us. We're going to hide it from discard. I think we're shuffling away Force of Will. I think Force of Will just generally is not that great in these matchups. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just cast Council's Judgment. And it will most likely get the Hex Mage. Obviously if they can't sack Hex Mage to make a 20/20 because we'll just name the 20/20. So this is actually really good. We've gotten value out of a card that is very situational and often doesn't get value. So I would count that as a win. Now we know they have Thespian Stage, 3 unknowns. They could have discard plus like a Lotus Petal type effect to put us in a tough spot next turn. That would definitely be the worst possible, but there's not much you can do about that. Alright, so here we're just going to play Oko and leave up Swords to Plowshares. Suppose they could also have like Not of This World. Feels like Not of This World and Sylvan Scrying don't go in the same deck, but you know, what do I know? Yeah. Oh well. We could have kept Forcible maybe, but like I think in general with all the discard, it's not what you want to be doing. So we want Veil. I think we want one Return to Nature. Verdict's fine. Pigneedle's fine. Friendly Ash is good. It's probably good enough. Let's see what we don't want. I generally don't like the forces, as I've been saying. So let's trim on those. I think Seven's Rec is not for this sort of matchup. Uro and Oko are all great. I guess we have room, so I'm going to bring in this. Maybe Surgical's an option. Have to think about that one. Because if you have, win the fight over the first Dark Depths, then you can Surgical the rest. That might not be worth a card. It's probably just better to have more interaction. Alright, yeah. I think we're just going to run it like this. Yeah, good enough. We have a Brainstorm. Usually Not of This World is like a 1 of or a 2 of, so I think it's fine to shuffle away the force and not potentially play around it. Especially because, like, from the information we knew, they were 2 turns away from getting a 20/20 anyway, but they had the Hex Mage, which kind of forced us to act a little quicker than we would have liked. So they're on 5. Obviously not ideal. I always feel like when you lose game 1, it doesn't matter too much if the opponent mulligans on the draw, just because, like, you're going to have to win game 3 on the draw anyway, so obviously this is nice, but we're not out of the woods. Consider if I wanted to cut a land if I get a game 3. I do think that you want to, avoid flooding out against these decks. You want to avoid flooding out in general, but I feel like decks that just require very specific answers at a certain time, it's just more pressing that you don't draw too many lands against them. Honestly, don't care which card they take here. Coatl is nice because it blocks a 20/20 for a turn. Brainstorm is nice because it shuffles back these extra lands. So, and I take the Brainstorm. I think that's fine by them. Let me take off this stuff from my hand stuff. Let's see if this is a Hamdi Tarak. Well, it can't be that now. That's good, I guess. Sylvan Library. I'm going to do this now, but obviously this library is resolving. We'll probably just judgment it next turn. It's a very easy way for them to get back into the game. Okay. They have a Hex Mage. I think this is a shuffle. I don't think I want to swords this Hex Mage right now. They would have to have like a very specific set of cards to make me want to do that. It'd have to be like Dark Depths and then double Not of This World. I think outside of that, it's just better trying to get the 2-for-1. Our life total doesn't really matter right now. Looks like they're going to go for it, which is fine. Your work's such a pain. And now I'm really happy we waited because we would have actually just lost if we had surged it right away. I was not thinking about crop rotation plus Not of This World. But I am happy I waited. Oh, great way to end the game. I think I'm fine. I was going to say I think I'm fine turning Ashleigh into a Nelk. It didn't matter. But obviously the opponent was on 5, so there's not much they could do. All right, so let's see if there's anything different we want. So on the draw, maybe From the Ashes is a little too slow. We did see a Sylvan Library. Sometimes we'll see Choke as well. That could be an option for the second Return to Nature. Given that they are, it seems like they're on the more all-in builds. They've had Not of This World twice, which is, we don't know the deck list, but you can kind of assume that maybe there's more than one copy. I think because of that, we want another Force of Will. I think I do want to cut a land. It just depends on which land. I guess since we don't have the From the Ashes, cutting the Valk is fine. And now we have either, I think Return to Nature, Force, and Surgical are all reasonable options here. I don't actually know what to do. I think Surgical is very narrow. It really only is good after you've already won a fight, and because they're the more all-in build, I think winning the fight is a little more important. So that leaves either Force or Return to Nature. Again, I just generally don't think Force is that great. I would love to know how many like Sylvan Libraries and or chokes they play. I guess this could also hit Pithing Needle if they're playing that to name things like Oko or Teferi or something. Alright, we're gonna go with Return to Nature. I understand that sometimes it might be dead, but I don't know. I've just never been a big fan of Force of Will in these matchups. And the difference between them having library and not is just huge, especially when the main way we kill their Dark Depths is to give them 20 life. It's just very hard to come back from that sort of card disadvantage. A little land heavy, but we have our best card in the matchup, and we have a Koala to buy time. Because I'm assuming the swords will be taken. So they do play Pithing Needles. This makes me feel a little bit better. All right, what are we naming? I'm going to guess Oko. That's my guess. But obviously it doesn't matter what we guess. We can just see what they name. Ooh! They named the wrong Oko. That's hilarious. We'll see if it matters. Might not matter. I'm going to leave this up to at least represent Veil of Summer. Might not be relevant. Again, I'm going to turn off my instep stop. I think because we just have so many lands, I really don't want to brainstorm end step there. I think it's better to just wait. All right, let's think. There's no way they can make a 2020 this turn. So I'm going to brainstorm now. Definitely one land goes back. I think a second one does as well. Yeah, we have 4 lands, that's fine. Snap is a nice pickup here as well, because if they discard the swords, obviously Snapcaster can fix that. Uro is also nice because it's going to put us above 20. Thoughtseize. I think I want to hide the swords here. Huh. This is actually very tough because I don't want them to take Uro. I almost think Uro is more important than Swords to Plowshares here. I could shuffle away the Terminus. That seems reasonable. All right, let's hide Terminus Uro with the intent of shuffling away the Terminus. We also have the option to snap Brainstorm it back on top later. So I'll keep that in mind. One thing to think about, this deck does only play the one Tropical Island. So as of now, I do not have the mana for Uro. I would need a way to fetch a basic forest. But I think the first one getting you enough life is fine. Opponent deep in the tank. Takes a Flusterstorm. Interesting. I do have Wasteland. That's really unfortunate. Well, we're definitely fetching now. I guess if they play something, we can get a basic planes and Terminus it. Obviously, we'll see what happens. Yeah, Terminus doesn't do anything now, so we'll get rid of it. Again, if they have Not of This World, we're in bad shape. But literally nothing we could have done about that. Yeah. Obviously, Teferi doesn't do anything here because they just make a 20/20 and end step. It sucks that we're 1 mana short. I do think that fetching the Trop and Brainstorming was correct there. The opponent's build deck doesn't play that many Wastelands. And there was no guarantee that we wouldn't find. Yeah, that sucks. They clearly have it since they know about the swords. Oops. Forgot my stop. Obviously really bad. I should remember my stop. I think it just doesn't matter. Like, obviously they had this in hand already. So, oh well. Not much you can do. All right, rough beats. I'll jump into the next round. Catch you guys soon.